So, this is the situation. The whole global banking system is fucked. It's impossible to pay the debt, the global debt. All that debt is doing is causing austerity, when there's no need for anybody to suffer austerity anywhere on the whole planet. Because the whole economic system, the whole monetary system, global monetary system, has become unfit for purpose. And you know, it's a phrase that has become very, very popular, really, because everything about this system now, this global system, and the problems that the economy, this need for growth is causing everybody, is making everything collapse. And I just can't envisage what it will be like when you know, everybody's after their money. What are they going to do? Give me my money, otherwise I'm going to murder you. You can't do that, can you? You can. That's what the bankers do. They have wars. All this bollocks about, you know, the Rothschilds wanting peace in Europe 200 years ago is exactly the same as what's happening today. I don't know whether Osborne and Cameron are just lunatics or what, really. But it's time. It's got to be time now for the whole global economic system to stop. To say, well, the people have had enough. But have you? You're not suffering any pain, really, are you, at the moment in England? I mean, even I'm managing to feed myself with the family. Just about. And hopefully not go into any debt at all. Even smoking, you know, tobacco. Because that's all it is. Can't afford anything else. Money, money, money. You know, I could go to a drug dealer and say, look, I need some cannabis for a bit. I'll give you the money in a week's time. And he'll give it to me. And then next week I could go, look, I'm sorry, bro, I can't give you that money I owe you, but, you know, give us another 8th and I'll pay you the week afterwards. And he'll give it to me. And then I'll be 80 quid in debt because it's 40 quid an 8th now, at least. Well, so I don't have cannabis. And I stopped growing it. mainly for fear of drug dealers breaking in and nicking my stash. But anyway, the whole economic system is in a state of failure globally. There is no way that Cameron and Clegg and all of the other leaders in Europe are ever going to achieve economic growth, because economic growth just well, it isn't possible anymore. If you have economic growth, then you just have more money printed, and that doesn't, all that does is cause inflation, which is why the inflation has risen the way it has over the past 100 years anyway. But that's what the Second World War was about, really. I don't like saying Hitler was right about financial Jewry, the Zionists, but that's what's happening. Got it. I don't care anymore about my health. What's the point of caring about my health? This world is a shit pit. Made into a shit pit by Zionists, New World Order freaks who want to be, emperors of the world. Split it up into 5 different groups. We'll have an Emperor of Africa, Emperor of Northern America, Emperor of Southern America, Emperor of Asia, Emperor of Europe. Is that 6 or 5? I don't know. But they might have just an Emperor of the whole of the Americas, and an Emperor of Africa, and an Emperor of Europe, which would include the Russians, and an Emperor of, what is it? America, Europe, Africa, Asia. That's 4, isn't it? Bit like the I missed anybody. I don't think I missed anybody out. But anyway, they could have 4, couldn't they? 4 global emperors. Elite. And all the rest of us are just slaves. Slaves to, their will, what they want for us. Because the army's on their side. They're getting nicely treated and following the example of China, really. The whole world is, put the army there, have them loyal to the elite. I mean, where's the brains of these army people? Have they been that brainwashed that they've got to say, oh yes, we'll do as we're told for this emperor, and there's only 4 of them, running the whole planet, and with 1 probably central in Israel between the 2 rivers, the Nile and the Euphrates, and that 1 will be, the elite of the elite. They want the whole world to become in such a state of chaos that the world will go to these, these brains, these elite, and say, please, please, help us, help us sort out this mess. But it's a mess that the elite have created. So that we all run to them and ask them to sort it out, you know, the whole of humanity. But perhaps not. It's insanity. The whole world is insane. And nobody cares, nobody knows, nobody understands. And if they do understand, they just, I don't know, they remain silent about it, I suppose. But I can't. I just can't do it. I can't remain silent about it. I've got to say something. I'd go mad if I didn't say something. So I suppose, to sum it up, the whole economic system is unfit for purpose, and the leaders of the world are following this economic system, which is unfit for purpose, saying that they need growth in the economy. And really what is needed is a planned approach to making humanity have a better standard of living. That was my son, Anthony. Yes, where was I? Yes, allowing humanity to attain a better standard of living and equality. And that's the whole of humanity. But you don't get politicians talking like this, you just get them arguing about the economy. And if they do talk about it, they're only scratching at the surface, because everything needs to be funded and paid for. So, you know, it's all up to you lot, you 7 billion people out there. Are you going to say enough of this monetary economic system that's caused all the wars over the past 2 centuries, at least? And are we going to work together in cooperation to make the whole world a better place for our children? Because under this system, it's certainly not going to be a better place for our children and our grandchildren. It really isn't. And you lot that just don't do nothing, you've got to realise it. This system has got to end. Hopefully on the 21st of December, with total awareness of everybody on the whole planet, somehow. Which is why I suppose this needs to go viral, but it won't. Who do I blame? Do I blame the 7 billion, the 99%, for not waking up? We have to have a system that functions for the benefit of us all 7 billion of us. If the bankers don't like it, and the politicians don't like it, then let the 7 billion sack them. And if they don't like being sacked, let the 7 billion put them in straitjackets and a padded cell for their safety and ours. Because they're not being nice to us at all. And they're just, following like, blind people. The elite, these people that want to actually take over the planet. Because that's the way it seems to me. And everybody carries on struggling on. Right. Going to work, paying the debts, remaining totally blind to the system that they're working in. This system that is rooted in debt, and a banking system that is in total failure, and they're only keeping it afloat through cancelling their own debt, really. Because all of the nations are in debt. Something like 46 trillion. I think it was dollars, last I heard. And, according to some reports, derivatives are in excess of, $800 trillion, I think. I mean, we're heading towards the quadrillion level as far as derivatives are concerned. And what are they? Some sort of insurance, are they? Against the debt that's failing, to be paid off, because there isn't enough money in circulation to pay the debt off anyway. Humanity can have a global, scientifically researched civilization that provides for the needs of every human being on the planet, and also enables them to live in a high standard of living. This is what can be achieved. It can't be achieved with money, because money is the funding of building this new civilization. And if there isn't enough money to build a new civilization, then you've got to get rid of the money so that we can build this civilization without money. Money holds everything back now. There was a time when money, could provide for building the cities and the towns, because there was always the demand. Now the main demands of people are food, clothing, and a roof over your head. That's all. Most people would be happy with that. And perhaps, half ounce of weed a week would be nice. But you could grow it yourself in a sensible, civilized society. Even the United Nations has said, all drugs should be decriminalised or depenalised. And Baroness Meacher said in the House of Lords in May 2010, and I'm repeating myself because I've said it in another video before, there is no more obvious waste of money than the £19 billion spent on the prohibition of drugs. And then in August 2010, the United Nations, the discussion paper that Baroness Meacher was talking about, it was called From Coercion to Cohesion. But the media hasn't told anybody about it. The media hasn't told the public that if we manage drugs properly, we could save £19 billion a year. But what's 19 billion? It's just a fiction, and that's what the monetary system is. It's a monopoly game, a fiction that we just go along with. And what it does is it enslaves us to the system. Humanity can thrive without money, because all we need really is the clothes on our back, a roof over our heads, and food in our bellies, if I didn't already say that. Food, clothing, and a roof over our heads. That's what we need. But a system that is totally free of money and scientifically researched to be functional would see humanity evolving into a higher state of consciousness, because we wouldn't have this worry of providing for anything, because it would all be there. There would be an abundance of resources if humanity worked together to achieve that, along with scientific and technological developments. Some people, say that there would be a development. I hate the word development because they use the word development. Humanity would grow. And I've used the word grow as in growth. Words are such a painful thing when you're trying to get a message across. I haven't used the term resource-based economy, yet. And either Cameron, Clegg and Osborne are that fucking blinded by the banking system and the monetary system that they've never heard of the resource-based economy, where everything is managed properly. A little bit like the UN saying that I think it was August 2010, that every nation should decriminalise or depenalise drugs, because managing drugs was a better solution to the problem of prohibition. So therefore, the obvious solution to the economic system, or the present economic system, which is in a state of total failure, really, and there's, literally millions of people all over the planet dying daily. Well, not dying daily, but, like I've said before in another video, one child every 4 seconds, and some say 5 seconds. But either way, it's still, I think, 15 children a minute are dying. Because of the economic system. Because they can't get the funding to pay for the food or the medicine. There's no need for it. Well, there is a need for it because the elite want to see us all thrown into chaos so that we run to them and ask them to sort it out. So, that's the thing, that's what 7 billion of us have somehow got to do. We've got to say now. But it doesn't need 7 billion really. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if every single human being realised that this system is, totally unfit for purpose. But there is, I don't know, what do they call it? It's like a tipping point where that many people know the con, this economic con that we're going through now. Give me control of a nation's money supply, and I don't give a damn what laws are made. So, give me the control of the world's money supply, and I'm emperor of the world. And that's what, this new world order is really about. Them having complete domination over the whole of humanity through the monetary supply. And everybody, they don't care. They don't care that there's violence in various cities across the globe. They don't give a damn, because these people that are in the riots or in gang warfare over drugs are nothing to these elites. They don't care about them. They don't care whether they're, live or die. Either the people in the elite or drug dealers in gang warfare. Mexico has proved that, hasn't it? What was the figures for Mexico? Was it 60 or 80,000 over the past, 5 years, was it? Drug-related deaths. Is it going to get like that all over the planet before we decide to manage drugs properly? You see, nothing is separated from the monetary economic system. Everything in the system has to run within the global monetary economic system. And there's wheelings and dealings and really these people are just stealing the money to live whatever lifestyles they live. But then, you know, they'll turn around and say, well, we're putting money back into the system. And they probably are, but what's the point of this merry-go-round? There is no point to it apart from the elite of the world, controlling the 99% of the world. And you know it's more than 99%, but 99% was a good figure to use. Because it shows how much control the 99% could have if they took it and said, no, we don't want this crap anymore. We want scientists to look at the situation and sort the situation out. Just as Professor Nutt did and said, it's time now to wake up. You've all got to wake up. We'll manage. The whole planet will manage in peace and love. You know, let's not hate anymore. Let's just share everything. Share what we can. The only thing that we need to survive is food, clothing, you know, roof over our heads. So those are the main things that we sort out first, aren't they? The food and the clothing and the roof. But then again, you know, there's medicine as well that can be sorted out. We can sort all of these things out. But the thing that's holding it all back is the monetary economic system. I call it the monetary economic system because it spells mess. And that's what it is. Mess. A mess. And these bankers sure aren't going to clean up their own mess. It's up to the people to clean up the mess the bankers have made. Not by bailing them out, but by giving them the fucking sack. And the politicians. And if they don't like it, you know, if they're up in arms and say, oh, you can't manage without us. You say, oh, yes, we can. And put them in straitjackets and let the doctors look after them. The 99% doctors, hopefully. Because, you know, even the doctors have got to, once they've been told the truth, have got to realise that the system is fucked. And the nurses, they're not stupid. Nobody's stupid on the planet. It's just that they don't realise they haven't been told the situation. Or they haven't heard. But then again, the media is that well controlled by the elite. And they're that wrapped up in the system, you know, oh, we're getting what we want. Getting what we need, we're okay. But they're the 99% as well. They're not, the elite, the media, every single person probably in the media, apart from the guy at the very top, is, you know, part of the 99%. And they need to wake up to it as well. BBC, British Broadcasting Corrupted. They proved that after 9/11, didn't they? With reporting Building 7 falling half hour before it did. But most people don't know about that, really. The majority don't. People that watch this video might, to begin with, those few that watch my videos. They know what happened to Building 7, which, you know, demolition job. I think that's where the CIA was situated, so lots of files and computer disks just sort of vanished. And we know the CIA has been corrupt for years, with the Contra scandal in the 80s, with the drugs, money laundering, drug money laundering that's going through the banks at the moment. A LIBOR scandal. I mean, they call it a scandal. It's fraud. There's no other word for it. It's fraud. LIBOR is fraud. It's just, controlling the figures so that the people end up paying more in the long run, or whatever. It's a banking system that operates on interest and can create money out of thin air, give it to somebody, some country wants a £10 billion loan. The Bank of England will materialise it out of thin air and give that country, well, it won't be the Bank of England, it will be the IMF or the European Central Bank as it is now. We'll make this money appear out of thin air and give it to the country that's asking for the loan. We don't need money anymore. It's a country. And when that country puts that 10 billion into a bank account, that bank then will be able to lend out 90% of that 10 billion in other loans, and so on. It's a joke. The banking system is a joke. It's a monopoly game where the banker always wins. Ooh. So, I don't know, I've waffled then. The whole system is a deck of cards. And it's wobbling. If you could freeze the collapse of a deck of cards, that's what's been happening. Freeze it over months, this collapse, slow collapse of this monetary deck of cards. That's the picture you get. A slow collapse of a deck of cards. I'm going to pause for a bit and listen to the waffle that I've been waffling, and hope that somebody might listen who hasn't listened before.